Hey everyone, this is Roman from Tenjin. Free to start pay-as-you-go marketing analytics. And today I'm joined by Chandresh.
Hey Roman, how's it going?
Ah, all good, all good. Yeah, maybe quickly introduce yourself, Chandresh. You're working in Mobi, what do you do?
Absolutely. So I lead the customer success team for InMobi. I've been with InMobi for almost 7 years now. And I've spent the last decade in the ad tech world, and it's been a crazy ride.
Right. I mean, yeah, especially now, and there is a new thing now on Android. We were talking about iOS for the last 2 or 3 years already, right? But today, for change, we'll talk about Android. And this is the reason why we joined today. We released a new report together with InMobi. The report is covering ad monetization data for October. Let me quickly share it with everyone. So this is a report, and the first thing that many of you can notice that it is covering ad monetization data for October. We took specifically October because it's specifically and precisely 1 month after Google introduced a new policy for interstitial ads. So now developers cannot trigger interstitial ads in some like random moments. I don't know, when user clicks on the settings and then there is an interstitial on the full screen. Yeah, I think it's good for players and for users. What do you think, Chandresh?
Absolutely, Roman. I think it's great news for users who can expect to see higher quality of ad experiences. And the standard across the ecosystem is getting much better. Publishers have been very, very vocal about the ad experiences and its direct cost on the user acquisition of users. Most publishers are not concerned too much, and they're uh, embracing the change actually. So we need to give it some time,
Yeah,
clear all the vagueness and the wording, and hopefully we'll have a solid path ahead.
yeah. I mean, the whole idea of the report came when I saw initial reaction from the industry. I felt like there was a lot of panic. Like, okay, first we
True.
lost like iOS, now we'll lose an Android. But
Yeah.
like, even if we look at the platforms here, like, okay, Android is winning in terms of ad revenue share, which was unimaginable again 2 3 years ago. Um, do you see the same? This is like Tenjin data set, but do you see the same picture when you look at the InMobi?
Absolutely. I mean, Android has been taking over for the last couple of years. And the best part is it's not the growth in Android is not going to move over. It's going to stay. Um, iOS will definitely push back. It's a matter of the industry adopting to the new scan version, and we'll eventually have a balance for the marketers in which Apple can solve for privacy and scale. Until then, Android has all the time to showcase its strength. I mean, it's a massive, massive reach. So it's showing up now, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, yeah, but then let's look at the countries, like even like top countries by ad revenue. Like I'm looking at this, and the first country that catches my attention is Brazil. We released another report for Q3 2022, and the Brazil was only country that has like low CPA but high ad spend. And now, like, this is an answer why, because like, okay, it's served by ad revenue on Android. So I feel like if you're a publisher, then this is can be a good opportunity for you. Do you see any other countries here that like catches your attention?
First, Indonesia is it's right at the bottom here, but during seasons like Ramadan, it just picks up. We
Mm,
derive some insane brand revenue in such regions in APAC. India is obviously a super strength for us. I mean, we're based in India. We have a headquarters in India. So it's of primary importance. And in general, at InMobi, we've been really, really strong in NA. And what we've been providing to the publishers, apart from the NA market, is the entire of APAC market. It's been an amazing value add for some of our top publishers, and they love the fact that we can monetize in Indonesia, Japan, Vietnam, and all of the APAC countries because we have sellers on the ground and we have direct relationships with some of our biggest
mm,
brand. So all of APAC is definitely very interesting. And as you mentioned, Brazil, yes, it's a very, very interesting and a Android heavy market. Again, we have a lot of seasonalities uh, in Brazil where it just goes nuts. Yeah. And I would say publishers need to start focusing on these markets as well.
right. Um, like, do you feel like it's changed, like in terms of okay, in the past everyone thought only about the US, but now when it's like so competitive, they're distributing the risk among like other countries?
Absolutely, Roman. I mean, a lot of publishers have been exploring all other markets, and if you look at other media channels like YouTube, all the content makers are moving over to India and rest of the region and trying to capitalize on the massive
Mm,
scale that is available outside of the US. So I do see a lot of game developers who do not need to make it a market specialty. As for they don't need to design a new game for each individual market. The
ah,
market is so evolved that they can just go after all of these regions. We're seeing a lot of game developers come out of Pakistan. We're seeing a lot of game developers come out of most of the Southeast Asian countries, and they're developing games for the global market. And these are being published by some of the biggest publishing houses out there.
got it. Let's switch to the ad formats. Yeah, so we see here like banners is taking a majority share here. Is it like more of what you usually see in the InMobi data, or is it like a common trend among in the industry?
Correct, Roman. I mean, if you look at InMobi historically, we've been super strength in banner. Most publishers have seen how extremely strong we are in banner in the US and in the rest of the world. But what is very interesting is how we've been slowly but steadily been massively taking over share of voice of full screen in the market as well. When it comes to product, we've made multiple changes to our product and our full screen experiences. And what you see here is an aggregated average, uh, but that is changing very, very rapidly. We want to bring our focus on full screen while our massive presence on banner will still exist. We want to increase that distribution over to full screen as well. So we've been making a lot of changes to our products and experiences, and that result is definitely showing. And some of our top publishers, we're contributing to more than 50% of their revenue in full screen. So definite change where we are catching up with the rest of the competition in terms of um, how much of full screen we're going to take over in the coming days.
Any tips? Like I'm a publisher. Any tips? What sort of like mix should I use in my app? Like I don't know, banners, interstitials, rewarded.
I think as a publisher, rewarded video is the most lucrative ad format that any marketer out there is looking for. So rewarded video is always at the top. If you look at it by the amount of impressions, it's got the least amount of impressions out there in the
Mm,
market, but the highest eCPM. followed by interstitials. So as a publisher, a definite focus on rewarded video. But from a banner perspective, I don't think we should ever rule it out. It is a real estate which is almost non-intrusive, which is there during the gameplay. So it depends on the gameplay as well. If the gameplay is happening and if it's not intrusive. So banner is something definitely to look forward to. And something very interesting is audio ads as well on banners.
Mm.
Very well-designed audio ads on banners would be something that is not going to be intrusive at all, wherein it's going to be clearly calling out that this is an audio ad. Um, and audio rewards is something that I'm particularly interested in, wherein you opt for an audio reward and the gameplay continues, but you listen to the reward and you go ahead with the gameplay.
Interesting. Is that something new? Never heard about it.
Correct. I mean, it's coming out in the industry, and we are
Uh-huh.
also exploring a lot on into that. So yeah, it's definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah, cool. But let's take a deep dive into interstitials on Android. This is why we're here. I have three stats, like decrease in eCPM -2%, increase in revenue 5%, and increase in end impression 9%. Like decrease in eCPM, like do you relate this to the new policy, or this is like a seasonality or something else?
Yeah, Roman, I would definitely attribute this to seasonality. Um, and the Android changes, it's too short of a time period to kind of come in and say that this might be the reason. But it's definitely due to seasonality. We've been seeing a slow downturn in the some of the spends in the market, and that's why a 2% decrease in the CPM. But if you see the revenue, it's a 5% increase. A lot of new advertisers have been coming in. We have a lot of more brands still stepping in. So it's definitely seasonality.
Hmm. I wonder if that's like InMobi specific thing, right? Because you said like, okay, we're moving to the full screen, more advertisers starting using that. Do you think this is like a common trend again, or this is like your thinking?
I would say it's InMobi's trend because we are very heavy on our brand campaigns. We run very little performance campaigns. So a lot of brands have been slowing down in the market, and I would attribute it to this as well. But at the same time, we've been adding a lot of new connections with our partnerships with our DSPs, and that's why we are trying to maintain as healthy as a average ECPM as possible.
Got it. Speaking about seasonality, like you probably can predict where the ECPN will go, like I don't know, starting from now going to the end of the year. What should
Absolutely.
publisher expect?
Absolutely. So, if you looked at the recent elections, we had a lot of interest from the US. So that's where political spends go up. Then, as I mentioned earlier, if it's Indonesia during the Ramadan season, is when we can expect a lot of interest from a lot of brand buyers in the market, especially during that specific time period. We will see a massive spike up in ECPMs and spends. A lot of these seasonalities and trends are distributed across the regions, and at least from a brand perspective, we do expect it. Amazon Prime Day is another big one,
Mm.
wherein a lot of advertising dollars comes in to promote the Amazon Prime Day as well, and the Black Friday sales. Yeah, it's so all of these in terms of a brand perspective, yes, we can with a certain degree of confidence predict an uptick in the overall uh, ad spends for sure.
Got it. Maybe I'll do a quick conclusion and I will see if you agree or not. So, like 1 month is not enough to see the effects of this policy
Yep.
change. So we'll have to wait for a bit. Like, how long should we wait to see if it made any effect? Maybe like everyone switched to like a proper way of showing ads or like rewarded videos. How long should we wait to see and say like, okay, this has effect or has not any effect on the industry?
As a general, to draw a trend line, I think a year would be something which would give us a very solid understanding of, if something has actually changed. But I do not believe that it's going to be a massive change or something that's going to, affect studios. I think it's going to affect a lot of these uh, publishers who are showing a lot of intrusive ads, uh, very small apps from other regions. But apart from that, a well-established, a good studio who's focusing on the gameplay and who's focusing on just showing ads at the right time and adhering to the policies, I do not think that it's going to be a major downturn at all.
Got it. Yeah. And I haven't like met with a single developer yet that said like, okay, my app was rejected due to this. And it would be interesting to see the stats here, like how many apps were rejected. I don't know who can, like probably only Google Play can provide that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Or we get all the publishers to tell us what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think this also gives them an opportunity to, if the number of impressions are going down, it's going to force the market to innovate again, uh, and come up with new ad formats. So there's a lot of new innovations going on, and yeah, I'm sure we're gonna see something very innovative real soon.
Yeah, rewarded audio. This is my highlight.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, super. All right, then thanks so much, Chandresh. Yeah, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. Give us a like. If you would like to download the full report, go to either Tenjin or InMobi blog, and have a good one.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Roman. Take care.